I transmigrated into the body of a stand-in, and I'm splurging the tycoon's money like crazy. All I want is to get a divorce and claim my share of the property as soon as possible. Yet the way he looks at me is getting weirder by the day. I asked his white moonlight, the woman he truly loves, to return home early. I'll give you $1,000,000 yuan, take my husband away. But the tycoon said, she's obsessed with money and completely helpless without me. I could never leave her on her own for the rest of my life. I've transmigrated into the female lead of an abusive romance novel. I loved Ken so deeply that I lost myself entirely. Even though I knew he only saw me as a stand-in, I still threw caution to the wind and married him, becoming his full-time housekeeper. Every day after that was the same. I loved him, he didn't love me, I was heartbroken, and endured suffering through tears. However, when I sat in front of this ice-cold man and looked around the 3,200 square foot villa, not a single tear could fall from my eyes. The corners of my mouth, though, were curling upward like crazy. What are you smiling about? I just like you, I cooed softly. I get happy the second I see you. The original owner was a gentle, reserved woman. She kept her love hidden in her heart, was quiet and soft-spoken, and stuck strictly to traditional ideas of female virtue. She'd never once used such a sweet, lilted tone. Ken frowned and glanced at me. Speak normally. My eyes were fixed on his Patek Philippe watch, and I couldn't hold back a snort of laughter. Okay, then. Maybe my smile was too bright. Ken set down his rice bowl in disgust. If you think acting like this will make me like you, you'd better drop that thought now. With that, he walked away without looking back. I immediately rushed to the downtown shopping district too, then sashayed into the Chanel store with a graceful sway. The original owner was a woman with self-respect. She'd married Ken for love, and over all these years, she never bought a single thing for herself. Not me, though. My posture walking into that luxury store was like I was raiding Jiangnan Leather Factory before it went out of business. Since I'm already stuck in this lousy stand-in role getting mistreated, I might as well make myself happy. No matter what situation a woman is in, she should always learn to enjoy life. When I walked out carrying big and small shopping bags, I happened to run into Ken, who was hurrying out right after his meeting. I'd been swiping his card all morning, so his phone must have been pinging with notifications non-stop. The second he saw me, he frowned. You spent over $1,000,000 this morning, all on bags? How could that be? I scurried over to him, then lifted my hand and did a little spin. I also got matching clothes and shoes. Don't they look good? Ken's face turned bright green. I quietly lowered my eyes. A woman dresses up for the one who appreciates her. I did all this because I like you, you know? If you don't think it looks good, I can go back and try on more outfits, until I find something you're satisfied with. They look fine, Ken finally muttered, though clearly unwillingly. He'd come to the nearby hotel for a meeting, and he was with the company's top executives. Every single one of them stared at him in shock. After all, everyone knew I was just a doormat who'd married him for nothing. This was the first time Ken had ever praised me in public, all these years. I gladly accepted the compliment, batting my eyes shyly. Then can you raise my card limit? I want to get my hair done later. Ken's expression looked like he'd just tasted dog shit. I took his arm and leaned in. Honey, I've come around. I used to be so narrow-minded, and that was wrong. I'm Mrs. Lin, your public image. How can I go around looking plain and boring every day, like some maid? I need to shine with confidence. That way, you'll look good too, right? With so many people watching, Ken cared about saving face. So, as silent as a mountain, he pulled out his black card. I took the card, planted a big kiss on his handsome face, then hung all my shopping bags on his arm in one smooth move. Honey, what do you want for lunch? Ken quickly pulled his arm away, but still ended up holding all my big and small bags. Go get your hair done, I still have a business dinner. You must be so tired, honey, I said. I'll make you spicy chicken hot pot to nourish you tonight. Ken strode off in a hurry, like there was a ghost chasing him. I went to the Michelin restaurant next door and had a fancy meal, then headed to the beauty salon. I booked 3 stylists, one for a body treatment, one for my hair, and one for a facial, and spent the whole afternoon relaxing. Honestly, I can't wrap my head around why the original female lead cried all the time. After all, whether Ken loved her or not, she was already a wealthy tycoon's wife. With that kind of financial foundation, her life shouldn't have been so miserable that she was tormented to the point of despair. If he doesn't love you, can't you just splurge his money? Is that really so hard to figure out? After my massage, I wandered around shopping for a bit more, then stopped by the Michelin restaurant to pick up the spicy chicken hot pot, just to reheat it at home later. Unlike my relaxed self, Ken practically raced home like he was speeding. You spent over $500,000 more this afternoon, you. He suddenly cut himself off, eyes wide, because I was gliding over to him in a silky nightgown, holding a brand new suit. Like it? I told you, you don't need to buy me stuff like this, Ken said. But his tone had softened, and he even looked away from my chest, his handsome face flushed with a faint pink. You haven't bought new clothes in 3 months, I said. It made me feel bad. I patted the big pile of gifts I'd gotten for him. I'm gonna go upstairs to take a shower first. Try the suit on, then come down for dinner, okay? He didn't say anything else, just went upstairs obediently. The original owner was a naive, innocent woman who treated him well, but shopping was never her strong suit. They weren't from the same social class, she had no idea what brands or items he actually used. She tried her best to show him kindness, yet he still looked down on it. Honestly, I had no clue either. But before going out, I'd studied his closet carefully, picking out his favorite brands and fabrics. That way, when I spent his money, I could throw in a little something for him too, and he'd even have to thank me for it. Instead of being kicked out after just a few days of living the wealthy life, I chose a sustainable way of draining the pond dry. Ken came downstairs in the silk pajamas I'd bought him, took a sip of the soup, and said, "The soup's good. I simmered it all afternoon." "Your cooking's gotten better," he said in a flat tone, but his relaxed brows gave away his good mood. I smiled softly. "Then drink more if you like it." That day, we finally sat together and finished a meal peacefully, something that rarely happened. The original owner had spent all her time fawning over Ken, giving so much just to get a single word of praise from him. But Ken was never one to offer emotional validation. So she'd end up wronged and in tears, only to be met with arguments and annoyance in return. I'm different, though. After all, I just ordered takeout. Whether he praises it or not, it's none of my damn business. As a wealthy tycoon's wife, my whole thing is no unnecessary feelings. Keeping up appearances is more than enough, why waste my sincerity? When life's good, I'll enjoy it to the fullest. Then, once the 3-year mark hits, I'll grab the divorce papers, claim my share of the property, and run. Heh, perfect. The next day, I said to Ken, I want to hire a few housekeepers for the house. The original owner had it so tough, every day, she had to clean this 3,200 square foot villa and cook, like a servant. But Ken just said, I don't like strangers in the house. Can't you handle it alone just fine? I smiled and fixed his tie for him. Sure, whatever you say goes. He left looking satisfied. As soon as he was gone, I hired 3 housekeepers on the spot, offering each a yearly salary of 200,000 yuan. They work 9 to 5, and my only rules are, avoid overlapping schedules with the master of the house, and never hang around in front of him when they're home. Ken can say whatever he wants, but if I actually listen to a single word of it, I'd lose. The wife should do all the housework is the most toxic rule in the world. It takes up the time women need to improve themselves, traps them in household chores, and robs them of competitiveness in the workplace. Even though I'm a full-time wealthy wife, I still need to keep a backup plan for myself. Otherwise, after the divorce, I'd end up competing with those housekeepers for cleaning jobs. With all the household chores now outsourced, I casually changed into a red dress, wandered into the garden, and pulled out my phone to open the camera. The most profitable side hustle with zero cost? Definitely being a content creator. For my first video, I mainly filmed a tour of my garden, with the title, At 25, I own my first luxury mansion. Thanks to Ken's pretty nice mansion, the video went viral. I got over 20,000 likes that day. Comments poured in, my dream house. Sis, does your family need a dog? The kind with a college degree. Isn't this the Joyeux Terrace? These start at 100 million yuan. As comments from fans poured in like crazy, I buckled down to map out my account's future content strategy. I worked until past 4 p.m., then got up to order takeout. Since I no longer cried and asked him if he loved me, Ken was actually willing to come home for dinner now. He even did something unheard of, asked what I did at home all day. Think about you, I answered without missing a beat. He coughed a couple of times and turned his face away. Quit buttering me up. Gotta do it, I said. You're spending real money to keep me so well taken care of. I'd practically light 3 sticks of incense for you every day if I could. One day, he forgot an important document and asked me to bring it to his company. I'd already made it to his floor when his secretary, Luna, stopped me from entering. Luna was a sharp, capable career woman. She had a secret crush on Ken and had helped him build his career. But Ken only had eyes for his white moonlight. He'd even married me, a mere stand-in, instead of her. She'd always looked down on me, and now she stood in front of me, acting all high and mighty. Ken's in a meeting. He doesn't want to be disturbed by outsiders. Just hand me the document. Sure thing, I said, pulling the document out of my platinum handbag and giving it to her before turning around and leaving right away. Luna was stunned. Even the others who'd been holding their breath, quietly watching the drama, were shocked. I knew exactly what they'd been waiting for. If it were the original owner, she would have kicked up a fuss for sure. Then she'd only prove herself a lunatic, making Luna look calm and composed by contrast, and Ken would end up hating her even more. When I reached the stairwell, I suddenly turned around. Oh, right, I almost forgot something. Everyone perked up, ears pricked with excitement, waiting to hear. Could you tell my husband that next time he forgets something, he can just send the driver to pick it up from home? Or even book a same-city delivery? You're his secretary, aren't you? Can't you handle a trivial thing like this? I only come downtown for my beauty salon appointments on Fridays. Don't bother me with this kind of nonsense on other days. After saying that, I stepped into the elevator, ignoring everyone's stunned stares. Hilarious, who even cares about fighting you over my husband? If you want him, just take him. I'm just waiting for the divorce to split the assets, and I'll even thank you for taking him off my hands. But I hadn't expected that as soon as I got to the first floor, a security guard sent me back up. Mr. Ken wants to see you. When I walked into the CEO's office, Ken's face was so dark it looked terrifying. I heard you refuse to do even a small favor for me? The original owner had always centered her whole world around him. Ken was probably a little unaccustomed to my attitude, but more than that, he was likely upset that I'd embarrassed him by saying that in front of everyone. I leaned against his desk. Anyway, even if I come, I can't see you, so I didn't want to bother. Ken froze. What? I suddenly glanced at Luna out of the corner of my eye. She stood straight, waiting for me to report her for stopping me earlier. Instead, I turned to Ken with a smile, my eyes crinkling at the corners. Okay, I was wrong. Let me make it up to you. Wanna go see a movie? Ken froze again. I have a meeting this afternoon. Secretary, I called out. What time's the meeting? 1 o'clock. I took his hand and glanced at his Patek Philippe watch. It's 10:30, we've got time. Let's go. I'll buy you popcorn there. We went to see Fengshen, the gods. I had no idea how he felt about it, but as soon as I saw all those muscular chests on screen, I was in seventh heaven. You like this kind of thing? Ken said, sounding exasperated. I think this physique is really fit, I replied. The chest size isn't the main thing, it's just that they look so healthy. I wish you looked like this too. I batted my eyes shyly. Ken sighed. When would I even have time to work out? You need to make money, but you also have to take good care of your body. We already have a swimming pool and a gym at home. What if I hire a few personal trainers for you? You can relax with them every night. Only then did Ken break into a smile. Whatever you say. Lately, he's been coming home every night, which interrupts my reading time. I need to find something to keep him occupied so he doesn't disturb my precious alone time. That night, I put on my pajamas, grabbed a glass of red wine, and watched the handsome trainers torture Ken through the glass. Whether it's Ken or not doesn't matter. Those trainers' pecs? Now that's something to write home about. Once I'd had my fill, I drew the curtains and went back to spending money to promote my account. Since I posted videos showing off my villa every day, my follower count quickly surpassed 200,000, and I even got an invite to a charity gala. But with popularity comes drama. Someone commented under my posts calling me a marketing account. The top pinned comment read, accounts like this, run by so-called wealthy wives that only post flaunts of wealth? They're definitely from the same company. It had 15,000 likes. The brand I was mid-negotiations with started dragging their feet on the collaboration. I glanced at Ken's photo on the promotional materials, then said to the brand rep, this house is really mine. When I show up in person, those rumors will crumble on their own. On Saturday, I wore a blue sequined evening gown to the gala. Unexpectedly, I ran into Luna. She was also in an evening gown, but unlike me, she was there representing the group. What are you doing here? She asked, furrowing her brows. Her question made me laugh. The way you're talking, someone who didn't know better would think you're the young mistress. You know exactly how you ended up marrying him, she snapped. Since you got lucky and took this chance, you should know your place. Ken's a public figure, his public image is tied to the company's interests. It's bad enough you cause a scene at the office, but if you mess things up at an event like this, I won't let you get away with it. Back then, Ken had wanted to marry his white moonlight but couldn't, so he'd married the original owner out of frustration. But the original owner was seen as not elegant enough for public life, so the group never even announced their marriage. Whenever there was an event, Luna was usually the one who accompanied Ken as his date. Luna used this as an excuse to hide behind company interests and public image whenever she wanted to pick a fight. Our argument drew the attention of the event organizer, who asked, is there a problem here? This is someone from our company, Luna said, apologizing. She tried to crash the gala without proper approval. I'll take care of it right away. Oh, miss, could you please leave? The staff member said. This is an invitation-only event. I pulled the invitation card out of my platinum handbag and handed it to him. The staff member's eyes widened when he saw it. Oh, Miss Philosophy. Right this way, please. Luna frowned as she watched the staff lead me toward the influencer section, clearly confused about how I'd gotten the invitation. Once I sat down, the other influencers around me started chattering. You're the one who blew up online recently, you go by P. Philosophy, I said with a smile. You said you're a local socialite, but we've never seen you before, one of them asked. What's your real name? Which family are you from? I knew a so-called socialite once, another added. She dated a guy, then used his name to show off online. As soon as she got exposed, she got kicked out. I heard a lot of marketing companies are now mass-producing accounts like this, someone else chimed in. I just smiled and said nothing. Before long, the host invited Ken on stage to speak. He got up and walked past me, then suddenly stopped. Lily? Under everyone's shocked gaze, I slowly stood up, adjusted his collar for him, and asked softly, "Did you memorize your lines?" "I don't need to memorize anything like that," he said. "My husband is so amazing," I cooed. "Go on." I sat back down calmly. The whole room was staring at me, but my eyes were only on Ken. The host asked, "Mr. Ken, who was that lady just now?" Ken paused for a moment, then said, "My wife." The room erupted in gasps. After Ken finished his opening speech, he came back to my side, offered me his arm to hold, and introduced me to the others. For the original owner, this would have been beyond her wildest dreams. Ken had married purely on an impulse to get back at his mother, and he'd regretted it ever since. The original owner wasn't just a stand-in, she was also completely unfit to take on the role of Mrs. Lin. It wasn't until tonight, when he saw me showing up in elegant attire, that he changed his mind. Netizens were quick to catch wind of the drama, and photos of us soon popped up in the comment section. "Ah, the blogger is actually Mrs. Ken. Is this the Ken I think it is? Oh my god, this is real old money. Sis, do you still need a dog? I have a PhD. From now on, if anyone talks trash about my mom, a playful term for the blogger, I won't let them off the hook." Wait a second, if the blogger is his wife, then who is this person? Luna sat frozen in her seat, lips clamped tight, squirming like she was sitting on pins and needles. What she didn't expect was that netizens would soon dig up her past and push her to the top of the trending topics. Every event she'd attended with Ken was scrutinized frame by frame, like under a magnifying glass. Ken must have been married by then. Why was he taking her everywhere? Could she be the other woman? Heard she's his secretary. I work at the group. Everyone knows Secretary Luna has a thing for Ken. She even stops his wife from seeing him all the time and picks fights with her constantly. It's like she's forgotten who the real Mrs. is. This woman is disgusting, ruining other people's families. I watched as the comment section flooded with remarks bashing Luna. I'd only wanted to gain a few more followers. This was never part of my plan. That night, the trending topics were taken down. Ken got a late-night call and was chewed out mercilessly. The next day, he went to the company looking utterly frazzled. I sipped my milk while scrolling through my phone, and came across an official statement from the group. President Ken's family life is harmonious. He has no personal relationship with Ms. Luna, and their employment contract has been terminated. We apologize for occupying public resources. The company will take legal action against accounts that continue to spread rumors to protect the president's reputation. Luna had been shown the door. It made sense. My mother-in-law was a tough, powerful woman. She'd built the group from the ground up, and she'd never let a scandal like this harm the company's interests. When Luna walked out carrying a cardboard box of her things, I was sitting by the flower bed sipping milk tea. The once arrogant Secretary Luna looked dazed now. The second she saw me, she bristled like a porcupine. "Are you here to laugh at me? Crashing the gala, buying negative trending topics about me, you're really good at dirty tricks." I didn't bother explaining. "I have a job offer, are you interested?" Luna scoffed. "Don't think that just because you got me fired, you can sit tight in your position." "Wait, what did you say?" "I have a job offer. Are you interested?" I repeated. Realization dawned on her, and her tone turned sharp. "You think you can buy my dignity with a little money? Impossible. You have a monthly mortgage of $20,000. Even so, I won't be your maid or let you boss me around," she snapped. I handed her a printed copy of the job description. The main responsibilities included business liaison, course development, community management, and client maintenance. First, try writing a copy for a success-themed course. If it passes, I can offer you the same salary as your previous job. Luna took it suspiciously and scanned through it. Her eyes widened slightly. "This is a real job." "Of course it is," I said. Luna furrowed her brows, confused. "Why? Why would you do this?" "Because you're a very talented person," I replied. Her eyes suddenly lit up. "Did he send you?" "He fired me, but he still cares about me, doesn't he?" I choked up for a second. "You're a very talented person," I repeated, swallowing a pearl from my milk tea silently. "If you weren't so obsessed with him, your future would be so much brighter." Luna finally seemed to snap out of her fantasy, her voice uncertain. "Is it really, just you? Why help me? I was your love rival." "Darling, I don't have love rivals," I said, giving her a sweet smile. "I just want to make some money. I don't even have feelings for him, so where would a love rival come from?" I was just having a meal with Luna when my phone rang. It was my mother-in-law, May. "Get over here right now," she said, her tone sharp. May was a tough, powerful woman. Ever since I married into the family, she'd cut off contact with her son. Every time the original owner had tried to visit her, May's secretary had turned her away, clear proof that May wanted nothing to do with her, not even a shred of interest. As soon as we met, she slammed her phone down on the table. "Delete your account. No more updates from now on." When she saw me looking at her with an innocent expression, she said calmly, "We brought you into this family not so you could show off our wealth. This house isn't something you earned yourself. Even if you gained a few followers by flaunting your life, you're just exploiting netizens' curiosity to feed your own vanity, and it does the company absolutely no good. This scandal started because of you. The least I ask is that you stop causing trouble from now on. Is that too much to request? May had always looked down on trophy wives, women with empty heads who only cared about men. Even if that man was her own son, she never cut him any slack. But I knew she was the best mother-in-law anyone could ask for. I clearly remembered the first time the original owner met her. May had said, "Here's 10 million yuan. Leave my son." What a generous, decisive woman. In that moment, I was dying to say, with all my feeling, "Mom, please slap that check in my face again." What kind of look is that? May frowned. "I'm waiting for your answer." Okay, I agreed readily, then put on a worried expression. But what? Right now, the company's official statements carry little weight, and suing ordinary netizens isn't a good PR move, I explained. The company only has that verified account, Blue V, as a voice. My account, which is in the middle of the spotlight, could actually help. I was thinking, why don't you film a video with me to show the family is harmonious? People believe what they see with their own eyes. It would help calm the public opinion storm. May let out a cold laugh. Calm public opinion? I think that's a lie. What you really want is to use this to force me to acknowledge you as the Carter family's daughter-in-law, isn't it? Whether you acknowledge it or not, I said, I already am. May let out a huff. But I knew she'd agree. Even though I was still just a trophy wife in her eyes, I was now at least a trophy wife who could play both sides, use others to get what I wanted, and even leverage the company to push her hand. 3 p.m. tomorrow, she said. I'll come over. Got it, Mom. The next afternoon, May showed up in my small garden wearing a cheapao, Chong Sam. How are we acting harmonious? She asked, a hint of sarcasm in her tone. Strolling through the garden arm in arm? Sit, I said, straightening out my notes. We're doing a talk show, just the two of us. You want to interview me? A flicker of surprise crossed May's face. Yes, I said. Before she could refuse, I turned on the live stream right away. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Philosophy, and this is my mom, May. Mom, could you say hi to everyone? Even though May had weathered countless storms, this unexpected turn of events left her a little flustered. Comments flooded in. Isn't this the female tycoon? That filter is insane. She's over 50 but looks 20-something with all the smoothing. LMAO, props to the sis for being a real wealthy lady. Husband has drama, so she brings her mother-in-law as backup. If the family's really harmonious, why not do a live stream with her husband instead? I stayed calm amid the negative comments. Today, I'm so honored to have Mom join the live stream to share her entrepreneurial journey. I think if someone stays successful in their field for a long time, they must have unique strengths. Today, I'm taking advantage of being close to the source to chat with Mom about her entrepreneurial insights. Feel free to drop your questions in the comment section too. I pulled out my cue cards. Mom, what quality or talent do you think is most essential during entrepreneurship? Action, she said firmly. I've noticed that many young people these days have mindsets like lying flat, being a slacker, feeling anxious, or getting stuck in overthinking. Often, this happens because you know what you should do, but you don't take action. In times like that, the best thing to do is just jump in. If you want something, find every way to get it. Even though failure will probably happen more often than not along the way, when you fail, you need to reflect quickly, identify the problem, fix it, and dive right into the next attempt. How does that saying go? Just do it. May had been a little uneasy at first, but as soon as the conversation turned to work, she instantly regained her confidence and presence. The tide of comments shifted fast. Who am I? Where am I? What am I doing here? I just came for the gossip. Never thought I'd get a masterclass from a tycoon. Screw the cheating and mistress drama. I just want to learn from Mom. A flood of netizens flocked to the live stream, and my follower count soared. The originally planned 40-minute live stream was extended to 2 hours, with netizens growing more and more eager to ask questions. One question had a sky-high number of likes, but since I didn't pick it, it sparked dissatisfaction among viewers. Last question, why haven't you asked Ms. May how she balances work and family? I let out a bitter laugh. Because I think this question is meaningless. You'd never ask a male tycoon how he balances work and family, would you? The hidden mindset behind this question is, men handle the outside world, women handle the home. Men can go out and work without a care, while women are supposed to take care of family matters. No matter how outstanding Ms. May's career is, if she doesn't balance it with family, she's somehow not doing enough. Isn't that standard too harsh? May took over the conversation. I raised my child alone. Now he's married and has taken over most of my work, and my daughter-in-law is also an influencer. They can take care of themselves, and so can I. We live very happily, thank you. After the live stream ended, she leaned over to look at my phone with me. Weibo had blown up, our live stream had shot to the top of the trending list. Most of the public opinion was positive. Finally, it's not some wealthy lady throwing a fit or catfighting. Their quality is really high. And they don't talk about their private lives at all. They exude this vibe of not caring about men from head to toe. I love how they interact. They might not act like a super close family, but at least they're like seniors and juniors who understand each other. I heard Ms. May is really strict about her son's marriage. Now I get why the sister is the one who made it to the end. Her way of speaking is definitely not just a pretty face. You're quite good at handling public opinion, May said. Actually, I have another half-baked idea. I want to turn this into a series, inviting a tycoon to share their insights each episode. I handed her the PPT I'd long prepared, then explained the traffic driving mechanism, community building, and the subsequent knowledge payment model. May froze. So from the start, when you showed off your wealth to drive traffic, stirred up public opinion, and pulled me in, this was all for starting a business? I wasn't the one who exposed Luna, I clarified. So what if you had? May's attitude did a complete 180. The real issue is, you're in the spotlight, and that's risky. If anything goes wrong with you, it'll drag the company down too. As soon as the framework is set up, I'll untie myself from the public eye and step backstage, I said. I'm not going to be an influencer forever. May finally looked at me with genuine respect. You've got quite the vision. So, you're on board? I asked. She picked up her coat. Earning some real money is better than sitting at home doing nothing. When she reached the door, she ran straight into Ken, who was walking in. Mom, what are you doing here? I quickly chimed in, since you're already here, why not stay for dinner? May's footsteps paused. It had been a long time since this mother and son had seen each other. I just happened to want to ask your advice on which tycoons to connect with next, I added. With my enthusiastic invitation, May grunted in agreement, fine. That evening, the three of us sat at the dinner table together for the first time. May took a bite and said, the chef you hired is excellent. You hired a chef? Ken asked, looking stunned. I laughed. Did you really think I cooked all these dishes myself? I don't like having strangers in the house, he said, frowning. May scoffed. Then why don't you cook yourself? After a moment of silence, Ken spoke again. I watched your live stream, it went really well. Who wrote the script? May avoided his question, saying instead, from now on, when you get into trouble, stop making your wife clean up your mess.